Browns, Ravens. Ravens by 5.5, over-unders 41. So this, of all the teams that can lock up their playoff seeding with a win, the Ravens are the one who has the toughest opponent. A lot of, like, the Chiefs are playing the Raiders, the Pats are playing the Jets, the Steelers are playing the Bengals. They can't necessarily get in. You know what I mean? There's a lot of teams like, oh, well, as long as that team takes care of business against this other bad team, like the Rams too, playing the Niners. This is different. Ravens, Browns. Good narrative with the Browns being able to crush the Ravens. The Cleveland fans will love that. Love crushing the Ravens, beating the hopes. So the Ravens are in with a win, right? The Ravens can actually get as high as AFC number 2 if they win and the Texans and Pats both lose. But most likely they win, they get number 4. If they lose, they probably miss the playoffs. So lots of incentive for the Ravens. This game opened at Baltimore -7. Here's the weird thing about the Ravens. As well as they're playing, it's interesting. The way they play, the defense is terrific, and the way they're running the ball all the time. I mean, they run, 3rd and long. They don't care. They just run. Laying points with them, it's not like you're giving 10 here or anything like that. But giving points with them is interesting because of the way they sort of shorten the game up. Because they run so much, and they run the clock on every play. Like, they run the clock down. They're basically trying to, run fewer plays and keep the other offense off the field and control the clock and all that. It makes for games that are not high scoring, and maybe that the spreads are not so big.
Yeah, that's a good point. I like the Browns here against the spread. I think I wrote about it in my column this week. This game kind of scares the hell out of me just because of the narrative, like you talked about with Baker Mayfield and the Browns playing so well since Greg Williams took over for Hugh Jackson. And in essence, this really is Cleveland's playoff game, and they don't have a lot to play for, obviously when it comes to the postseason, but they do have a lot to play for. They can knock off their division rival and keep them from going to the playoffs.
Right.
And if you don't think that's a motivating factor, it is. I really like, it's tough to not like this Browns squad at this point. I mean, I think Baltimore's going to win. But when they played earlier this year, the Ravens only won by 3 points in overtime. Mayfield threw for 342 yards that game. He was sacked 5 times, but Baker Mayfield has had success against Baltimore. And I think it's safe to say, they played in October. It's safe to say Cleveland's a better team now than they were when they lost to Baltimore back then. So this game, like I said, it kind of scares me a little bit. And if I'm a Ravens fan, I don't know. I mean, the Baltimore's done so well to put themselves in this position, especially because, a month and a half ago we thought there's no way anybody's going to catch the Steelers in the AFC North. But this would make me really – if I was a Baltimore fan, these 3 hours on Sunday would really frighten me. Yeah.
And last year they looked like they were winning in against an easy game against the Bengals, and it didn't work out. So I don't know. I like the Ravens to cover. I don't love it, but I like it. Like the Browns, the one thing about the Browns, they won 5 out of 6, but the opponents have not been strong. So maybe
two of those teams with the Bengals,
right? I mean, I like them. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, I just think the Ravens get this one. Right now, NFLPickwatch.com, we have got 61% of the experts like the Browns getting the points. 52% of the fans like the Browns getting the points.